Hi there, and welcome to your next best step. I'm Coach Janet J. I'm recording this with a house full of drywall and tools and a garage I still cannot park in because we are in the middle of a renovation. And a renovation turns out to be fitting company for today's topic. Before any of this began, I had to sit down and count the cost, figure out what it would take before a single wall came down. That same wisdom is exactly what I want to bring to something else you build every single year. Let's take that step together. It's the middle of July. It may be warm where you are. The calendar is months away from anything red and green. And I want to talk to you about Christmas money on purpose right now. There is a 100-year-old idea, nearly forgotten now, that protected millions of households from the exact December dread so many of us know too well. And it started with about the price of a few cups of coffee. You may know this feeling. It's early January. The decorations are coming down. The first credit card statement of the year lands in the mailbox. And your stomach drops. Back in January on this show, I shared a number that stayed with a lot of you. Nearly 1 in 5 expected to still be paying off holidays come summer. And then a few weeks ago in June, we sat together with that very reality. The Christmas bill that was still here, still on the statement, months after the wrapping paper was gone. We didn't rush past it. We let it be true, and we offered it grace. Today is the other side of that story. Today is the hopeful part because it's July. December is 5 full months away. This July, you are early. You are ahead of December instead of chasing it. And 5 months is plenty of runway to make sure next year's January feels completely different. There's a verse that fits this moment so well, it almost feels practical enough to tape onto your refrigerator. Luke 14:28. Jesus is teaching a crowd, and he says this: suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? That's the New International Version. Sit down first. Estimate the cost before you build. Now, Jesus was speaking about the cost of following him, counting it honestly before you begin. And underneath that teaching is a piece of wisdom that reaches into the smallest corners of ordinary life. Christmas is a tower you build every single year. You already know it's coming. You already know roughly what it costs. So the wise and faithful move is the one Jesus named. Sit down first. Plan for it before the season is upon you. Now, let me tell you about a banking idea that understood this verse better than most of us do. In 1909, a man named Merkel Landis, the treasurer of a small bank in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, started something called a Christmas club. The idea was simple. All year long, people deposited a small amount, a set amount, sometimes just a few dollars a week, into a special account that they could not easily touch. Then, right before the holidays, the bank handed it all back, exactly when they needed it. That first year, about 350 people signed up, saving around $28 each. Real money in 1909. Guess what? These accounts often paid little or no interest. People joined them anyway by the millions. They handed their money to the bank to hold for one reason: protection. They knew a simple truth about being human. Money sitting in your pocket gets spent. So they set up a way to protect themselves from themselves. There's a name for the wisdom underneath all of this. A Nobel-winning economist named Richard Thaler studied the way our minds handle money, and he found something both obvious and a little magical. We do not treat all of our money the same. $1 in your groceries money feels different from $1 in your someday vacation money, even though $1 is $1. He called it mental accounting. And the practical gift inside is this. When you give a pool of money a name and a purpose, your mind starts to guard it. A fund labeled Christmas behaves differently than the same amount sitting loose in your checking. You are far less likely to spend it on a random Wednesday. Researchers have tested this in the real world. When people separate the money they are saving and label it for a specific purpose, even something as low-tech as putting it in its own envelope, they hold on to far more of it than they do when it sits in one big undivided pile. And this is not some distant laboratory idea to me. This is actually how I grew up. My mom and dad ran the whole household on envelopes. One for groceries, one for gas, an envelope for each part of the budget. And they had us kids do it too as we grew up. When the grocery envelope was empty, that was the answer. The grocery envelope was empty. I set that habit aside for years. Yet these days, I keep a few envelopes again, partly for the small business owners I love to support so that I can pay them in cash and they don't lose a slice of it to credit card fees. The envelope is a humble thing. It's also 100 years of wisdom you can hold in your hand. There is one more layer that makes this whole thing almost effortless. Automation. When the savings happens on its own, a small amount moved over on the same day each week or each month before you ever see it, you do not have to summon willpower or remember a thing. The system carries it. You simply let it. Here's what that means for you, sitting wherever you are this July. Maybe for the first time in a long time, you are ahead of the thing instead of behind it. Picture next November. Picture opening a little fund that has been filling itself all year and discovering it's already there, already enough, and feeling your shoulders come down from around your ears. That feeling is available to you, and it starts with a single small decision this week. This one small move touches all 4 pillars. Mentally, it clears space. Every undecided thing you carry takes up room in your head, and a funded plan closes one of those open loops. Emotionally, it trades dread for relief, and relief is every bit as real as the dread. Physically, removing a known money stressor before it arrives is kindness to your body, which tends to carry that tension in your sleep, your shoulders, your jaw. And spiritually, this is stewardship in its most ordinary, faithful form. Sitting down, counting the cost, and preparing in advance is wisdom. And it is peace chosen ahead of time. So here is your next best step. This week, open one dedicated holiday fund and seed it. 2 simple parts. First, open it. Pick whatever fits your life. It could be a literal envelope tucked in a drawer. It could be a separate savings account at your bank. Some credit unions still offer those old-fashioned Christmas Club accounts, and they are wonderful for exactly this. Or it could be an automatic transfer of $5 or $10 that moves over its own each week. There's no wrong way to do this. The best setup is the one you will actually use. Second, give it a name and put something in it today, even $5. Call it Christmas. Call it December peace. Call it whatever makes you smile. The naming does real work. It's the part that makes your mind start to guard the money, and those first few dollars turn it from it being an idea into a real thing. That's the whole step. Open it, name it, seed it. 5 minutes, $5, 5 months of runway. And hear me on this part because it does matter. If $5 or $10 a week will not fully cover your Christmas, that is completely okay. A partial fund is still a real head start. Every dollar you set aside now is a dollar that does not land on a credit card in December, which means a smaller balance, paid off faster, which clears the way to start next year's fund even earlier than July. This is progress, and progress counts. You are allowed to begin before you can finish. Let me leave you with the heart of it. Money that has a name and a wall around it behaves differently. You protect what you have set apart. 100 years ago, families paid a bank to hold their Christmas money simply so they would not spend it, and it worked. Jesus said to sit down and count the cost before you build. And a small holiday fund is that verse made practical. Open one this week, seed it with $5, and let next December find you ready. On Wednesday, we're stepping into something a lot of us are living right now. That strange, dusty in-between season when everything feels half-finished and you cannot quite find your footing. My renovation is going to feature heavily, I promise you. It's an episode about staying steady when life is unfinished, and I think you're going to feel seen by it. If this episode helped you breathe a little easier about December, would you do one small thing? Leave a rating or quick review wherever you are listening or watching. It helps other women find this show, and I'm grateful for every single one. I will see you Wednesday. Take your next best step.